Hello and welcome to HSM 375 Data Management. I am Mr. Thompson. This of course is spring 2022. So I want to give you an overview of the course and how it's laid out, especially showing you the calendar, which I'll drag into this screen in a moment, of weekly course requirements. But it's laid out a little bit differently. Each unit spans more than 1 week. So I will show you in that unit what dates are the range from and to, and what you're going to be doing as far as learning and as far as assignments. So if you go to the course, you're going to see announcements. You need to check your announcements and email at least once a day. So you'll find your course documents, and then it's split up very straightforward, very simply into units 1, 2, and 3, so that you can understand what you're going to see on the calendar. Let's take a look real quick. There's a learning agreement that I'll have you look at. It kind of reiterates some of the things from the syllabus, and here is where your PowerPoints, your lectures are going to be found, some other things that you will link to, and then you'll find assignments. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. In Unit 2, similar, in Unit 3, and then the final exam. So you have 3 units and a final, and I will drag our calendar over so that you can see. And this is so important in an online course, that you stay on top of things. And what things I'm talking about are both learning and assignments. So you can't just skip ahead and do the assignments. You have to do the learning. And of course, that's why you're here. You want to learn. So I'll tell you something about myself. I've been a nurse for 20-something years. And I remember when I first became a nurse, and management would try to tell us something about reimbursement and making sure that we were being efficient, about data and things like that. At that time, I thought, no, I don't care about that. That's not my job. My job is to be right here at the bedside, taking care of these patients and helping them to get better. That's what I'm here for, and I don't really want to know about all the other stuff. And I was right in the fact that I was there to make the patient better, but I was wrong in the fact that I didn't understand how important data is. How important understanding what we do helps prevent mistakes from happening again, helps ensure that the hospital doesn't go bankrupt. All of the things that we do in the course of a day of business, or the course of a shift at the patient's bedside, helping them to achieve health and wellness, all of that is data and is driven by data. So I didn't understand that. I'm glad that I understand a little bit more about it now. But when we can look at data and figure out how it makes sense and how we need to go forward, we can make health care and health systems much better, much more efficient, much more effective in helping propel healthcare forward in this country and worldwide as well. So you will be learning about data analysis, data management, and I want to show you how that is laid out. So in the Unit 1 module, you're going to find that there are some weeks here. If you go look at your calendar, you're going to count out these weeks, and hey, there's quite a few. But you also notice that there are 3 chapters in that unit. So you can't put things off. You're going to get behind. It's going to be overwhelming. You have to do the learning before you do the assignments. And so learning, you've got your chapters to read and review. You have your PowerPoint lessons to go through. I've put this here, complete learning agreement, because that is going to be right down here in assignments. And then the HCUP lab link, you'll explore that. And then based on all of that learning, you'll be able to do your assignments and to achieve your objectives and get the best score you can. So assignments include the learning agreement, which I'll talk to you about in a sec, the data analysis job discussion forum. So you have exactly when these assignments are posted, or they're all actually posted, but when they're due, and when it comes to a discussion forum, when the initial post is due, and then when your response is due. You have also quizzes, you have exams, and as you get through all of these units, you'll come to finally classes end on 4/29, and then your final is on Monday, May 2nd. It actually opens at 8, and it did say 6, but I didn't want you to be confused because everything else was at 8. So I just made it consistent, and it opens at 8 a.m. And closes Wednesday at 8 a.m. What that means is you can find a time when you are able to sit down and focus and take the final. You don't have to take it like Monday at 8. You can take it Monday evening at 4 or whatever. However, you do need to pay attention to how long you're given for these exams or these quizzes, because that's driven by how many questions are on the quiz or how many questions are on the exam. So you will have different amounts of time to complete the exam depending on how many questions there are. So make sure you take a close look at that. When you click on the quizzes and the exams, it will tell you how much time you have. And I will also say, once you start it, you have to complete it. You can't like log out and then come back. So make sure that you find a time when you can set aside sufficient time to complete these quizzes and exams. When it comes to the discussion forum, of course, you can start that and then go back to it and work on it until you are ready to post and that kind of thing. And then you'll look at other people's posts and you'll respond to at least one classmate. And then this other assignment down at the bottom, I'm jumping around on you, but just because I want to tell you about different types of assignments. This other assignment is a case study. It's an essay. It's not very long, but it's based on some of the content in your book, and it allows you to think about admission criteria, because what happens when you have a family member that goes to the hospital? How do they decide whether they're going to send that person home and maybe have some follow-up or some prescriptions or whatever, versus admitting them to the hospital, and why is that important? So that is, of course, our course schedule. Now let's see if I can get that minimized. So the other thing I want to show you is just your learning agreement. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. And I don't know if it's going to come up in the other window, so I'll drag it over if it does. But this is structured like an assignment. So you're going to download that document. Let's see if I can get that to open. And I'll drag it over here for us. So this is basically reiterating some things about the course and some things that you're going to find in your syllabus. Make sure that you're looking at your syllabus as well. And it's going to tell you where the grades are going to come from. It's going to tell you about COVID policies. It's going to give you a lot of good information about the course. But this kind of sums things up, tells you what your course layout looks like in Moodle. So if you ever kind of forget and wonder where to find things, that's there. And it's going to give you some instructions right here at the bottom, and you're going to need to follow those instructions. And when you follow those instructions, you will then submit the document that I just showed you, along with what you're going to add per those instructions. And you're going to do that by Friday, January 14th at 11:55 p.m. So I'll let you read that. That's why I didn't stay in there very long. I want you to read it and read the instructions and follow them. Oops, there's my nephew's Steam. He's always loves to game. Let's get back to the course. Okay, so let's see. The course schedule that I showed you, the calendar of events, of units, and your assignments, I would recommend highly that you print that out and that you put it by your computer. This is an online course. It's easy to forget when things are due, to get behind. You're going to take a look at your calendar. You're going to say, wow, I have these chapters, but it's like 3 weeks before I have to post something or turn something in, you're going to be tempted to just procrastinate, to postpone, to ignore it, and then it's going to come on you all of a sudden. So if you want to avoid that and actually be successful, you need to utilize your calendar. You need to put it, maybe however you do it, put it in a paper calendar, put it in an electronic calendar, but print this course schedule out and put it by your computer. All right, I think that I want to keep this short. Looking forward to learning along with you. And if you have any questions, you will be able to email me. If we need to meet, for some reason we need to meet during the semester, we can work on a time for you to come to my office, or we can even utilize Zoom or Teams in order to do a video conference. So have a great semester. Let me know if you have questions, and I'll see you online.